Bluff Road area, all those areas in between, Prairieville, heavy rainfall right now, potential swirling winds because of, again, a Doppler indicated tornado. Nothing confirmed at this point. And I do want to repeat, these storms, these tornadoes are going to be at times very difficult to see because they will be rain wrapped. We've had, again, a lot of heavy rainfall across the area. We've also got some low hanging clouds. And then the one on the other side of the Mississippi River on the west side, that tornado warning is still in effect until 3:15, so another 15 minutes. And that one is mainly for New Roads and Morganza at this point. So again, as we continue to drive into the viewing area and just kind of look at what we're currently walking and kind of showing you that those bands of heavy rain are starting to move inland. And again, so I'm just going to jump back out there to show you. Again, this is Doppler indicated, so it's not 100% accurate, but as you see here, we are seeing torrential rain across the area in some pockets. And you can see all those areas highlighted in the dark red, pink, and purple. You're talking 2+ inches of rainfall per hour. So you're talking from just north of Raceland, a little bit south of Lutcher, south of I-10, right around the Donaldsonville area. Heavy rainfall moving down LA1 right now. You're talking anywhere from St. Gabriel, moving into the Plaquemine area, obviously just on the other side, the west side of the Mississippi River. Bruley right now, Addis seeing some very intense rain. And again, I think that may be a little extreme, but as you notice here, just to give you an idea of what I'm looking at, that little pocket of white right there, possibility of over 4 inches of rainfall per hour. That usually produces flash flooding. So again, I think that's one of the bigger issues that we're going to potentially see is flash flooding in pockets. Maybe not as much widespread, but pockets. Yeah, we're talking water that typically moves into those areas that we always are used to seeing, those prone areas, again, all those low-lying areas where that heavy rainfall currently sits. So again, I just want to show you more areas that are currently seeing torrential rainfall out there right now with some pretty intense rainfall rates at about 2 to 3, a little bit south of Grosse Tête. Now, luckily, a lot of these areas have a big drainage basin kind of in between. We're talking the Atchafalaya, and you see the river kind of moves in right between. So all of this water on the western side of the Mississippi River filters into the Atchafalaya Basin. So again, that kind of moves away from the capital area. However, again, if that same band moves northbound and moves across I-12, well, then all that water goes into the Amite River Basin, and that's, again, where we need to keep an eye on. Also, again, a lot of heavy rainfall, has moved across like Bayou Manchac, Spanish Lake area. There's a lot of little bayous in between there from Ward's Creek to Dawson's Creek. Those could be filling up pretty quickly when you start to see rainfall rates like this. So just keep an eye on the river levels out there, obviously, because they are going to drastically change over the next 24 hours. And as you see here, again, we're still talking some areas even seeing big picture out there, intensity up to about 3, maybe 3.5 inches of rainfall, kind of big picture wise, as these storms continue to move through the capital area. Again, just continuing to cover these isolated tornadoes. Again, that's the immediate threat with this heavy rainfall for the capital area. But as I do back off a little bit here, what I do want to show you overall is we still got to keep an eye on Laura out there. And just to give you an idea of what we're talking about, some of the impacts from Laura, and right now, again, the likelihood for tropical storm force winds remain very high from this system, starting potentially around maybe mid to late afternoon and could be lasting until the overnight hours. So again, that is a concern. We've got all this heavy rainfall in a lot of areas. You get tropical storm force winds, and again, some of these smaller trees may not be able to handle it because they're already waterlogged, and therefore trees start to topple, and that's the concern because you're already starting to saturate the soils right now. And as that happens, wind on saturated soils, that's never a good combination. So let's see what else here. And big picture, you can see that tornado watch that kind of spans just north of Laura, still Category 4, and you can see some of those outer rain bands, the first wave moving in, and then we'll see what happens, obviously, as it still looks that we've got some pretty good banding features right now around the center of Laura, which still has a very wide eye, but again, a very well-defined eye at this point. Still a lot of organization and possible rapid intensification still possible as we continue to move forward, because again, there is a potential for it to run into some shear along the coast, but I hate to say it, at that point, it's almost too late. So it's definitely going to be inland. And you can see here again, just kind of looking here. Let me just take a look at some of the closer picture right here, and just to kind of show you, yeah, there is a little bit of wind shear out there, and you'll see main leading edge, but it's too far inland, and it's not going to have any real impacts to Laura before it makes its way inland. So there still is that potential that we're talking maybe in a Category 5 before landfall. Now, other things you kind of look for when you look at the water vapor: shear, steering winds, and you also like to see if there's a dry slot or two, if dry air is getting sucked into the system, because that usually collapses systems. It weakens them. It allows them to fall apart. That's also not happening. So I don't see any dry sleeves kind of coming back into the center, which you a lot of times want to see that dry air kind of tuck back into the circulation, kind of like this. And again, that is also not happening. So we're not really seeing much in the way of that happening. And again, as you look at the storm surge for a lot of areas, again, we're talking tremendous amounts of water getting pushed inland, and unsurvivable storm surge for a lot of those areas. We're talking 15 to 20 feet. You can see the Lake Charles area, 10 to 15, 4 to 7, even further east, 2 to 4 for the inland lakes. And again, this is going to be a first, I think, for a lot of areas, just because it's got a very massive wind field at this point, and it also obviously is going to be strengthening as it ramps up into the coastline versus a lot of other storms. When you talk about the Ritas, it was large. At one point, it was a Category 5, but it was down cycling. It was replacing the eye wall before it moved inland. So again, kind of big picture, and just to kind of show you, this is the very latest. All right, can you go to Max 2 right now? The SPC, the Storm Prediction Center, is now placing a good chunk of the area now underneath an enhanced risk. We're talking areas just west of the Mississippi River. That's all areas highlighted by that orange. Right now, the yellow area is a slight risk, and obviously the greatest threat is tornadoes out there. We're not going to see much in the way of hail or things like that. And this is different because, again, this is a tropical system out there. So what you're going to see is more of those quick spin-ups, those tornadoes that spawn from those feeder bands out there. And obviously the concern is for those very strong winds all across Acadiana and up through Ville Platte, and probably all the way through the Alexandria area at this point. So again, you're talking a very, very, again, when you're talking about it, we mentioned this and we kept talking about it earlier. When you're even looking at this, you're talking about far-reaching impacts. If you think about it, Lake Charles, where we could possibly see that area, and Cameron, the city of Cameron, and all of Cameron Parish, Holly Beach, that's about 120 miles down the road. When you're talking tropical storm force winds at nearly 200 miles down the road, that could span as far east as I-55. So Livingston and a lot of those parishes, maybe not sustained winds, but there is that potential that we could see those strong wind gusts kind of drive through. So if you jump back to Max 1, I just want to show you our Futurecast picture here. And when you're looking at it, you can see that first wave coming through. And if you notice, look at the timestamp. That says 5 o'clock. It's currently 3 o'clock, and it's still sitting over the capital area. That is the concerning part, because that still means heavy rainfall through the area. It still means that potential that for the next 2 hours we could be spawning tornadoes left and right like we've been doing. And you see how that band still extends into the Gulf of Mexico. So again, as we continue to inch this forward, as we march to about 7 p.m., you see that Laura gets a little bit closer to our coastline. We may see a little bit of a break, but the winds are going to definitely start to pick up a little bit. As we make our way to about 10 o'clock, getting closer to the coastline, you can see also that we've got another heavy rain band moving inland with this system. So far, again, when you look at this model, it's actually been verifying in a lot of respects. And with that also being said, notice where the eye is. Just slightly further east, which means closer to the capital area. And notice by the time we get to about midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, you can see that heavy band driving back into the capital area. And again, that's where you see torrential rain. Those type of rain bands, you see anywhere from 3 to 6 inches of rain per hour. And then watch what happens. As we march to about 3 o'clock in the morning, heavy rainfall. Laura continues to head northbound at this point, right around Fort Polk. Heavy rainfall through the capital area. That band still extends into the Gulf of Mexico for the capital area. And you can see here, and this is what I'm pointing out. Look at these intense storms right here. That's what we're calling for the concern for the capital area. Point Coupee Parish, southern Mississippi, east and west Feliciana, east and west Baton Rouge Parish, Iberville, maybe even moving up into Livingston and St. Helena Parish. Watch as we march along. Then those storms start to filter in by about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Still heavy rainfall on top of us as the center of Laura now pushing just east of Alexandria. And as you see here, heavy rain driving through. Then from that point forward, possibly through all morning, we could be seeing it moving through the capital area, extending all the way to I-55, marching towards New Orleans until maybe Thursday afternoon before we start to see a break. So again, there is the potential. Yes, we're not going to be seeing rain continuously, obviously, for the next 12 hours, but there is that potential that we could be seeing some pretty heavy rain bands for the next 12 to possibly 18 hours at this point. And you see even Friday, some residual effects of Laura as the system kind of moves across the nation through the Tennessee Valley. Laura kind of slides towards the East Coast. You can see that another heavy band moves in as we make our way into Friday with more storms developing moving into the weekend. So kind of look at big picture right now. We've got a wind advisory currently in place for eastern portions of the viewing area. We've got tropical storm warnings for western portions of the viewing area, so everything west of the Mississippi River. And then for Lake Charles, we're currently sitting underneath a hurricane warning at this point. So again, let's just go back and one more time, I just want to show you again, just give you an update on the potential for wind speeds. I know a lot of people have been asking about that. And you can see here, again, these are wind gusts, but notice Baton Rouge at about 40 miles per hour, right around Cameron, about 100 miles per hour. And then you see, obviously, that those numbers quickly jump. You can see the Iowa making its way inland. In Baton Rouge, we're talking 40 plus. Lake Charles, over 100 miles per hour, up to 127 in Lake Charles as the eye continues to move across I-10. Baton Rouge, nearly 50 miles per hour out there. And then those storms continue. Look at that. By the time we get to Baton Rouge, by the time we head into early morning, 56 mile an hour winds. That's on top of all that heavy rainfall. So you got to remember, heavy rain it's not our friend. And I say that with the utmost concern because once you get all that rain, we get very saturated soils. Our trees are different down here. And the reason I say that is we don't have tap roots that dig 5, 10 feet directly into the ground. Our roots go out. And if all that water gets saturated, all that ground gets soaked, then all those root bases, they have nothing to grab to. You take any type of wind, trees start to topple, you start to get power outages, and again, prepare for that, obviously, as we head into the overnight hours. So again, this is just this model. Others are being a little bit kinder to us at this point, but again, when you're talking big picture out there, there still is that potential. Again, look at this. We're still talking Thursday morning that we could be seeing winds up to about just shy of 60 miles per hour in the capital area. So, Ashley, what did you just hand me here?
New tornado warning.
Oh, new tornado, okay. All right, let's jump back to the tornado warnings. And let's see here, we can get back to that quickly. And you'll see here, what I do want to point out is, we got new tornado warnings out there. And here is the latest information. Let's load it up. All right, here we go. New tornado warning. And that is now for, just to give you an idea, that new tornado now heading towards the Denham Springs area. So Ascension, East Baton Rouge, Livingston, now until about 3:15. Okay, they've allowed that one to expire, but I believe this is the new one. And you can see right here, East Baton Rouge, Livingston, tornado warning until 3:30. So we've got another about 15 minutes. But again, the areas of concern, the cities of greatest importance, Shenandoah, Denham Springs right now, moving northwest now at about 35 miles per hour. So if you're continuing to watch this on social media, our entire team is trying to keep you up to date with obviously updates on all of our platforms, on our Be Our Proud app, and yeah, you're talking on all social media too at the same time. So also I do want to point out, if you do have some questions, if you are watching us right now on Facebook at this point, again, fire off with those questions. I'll try to get to as many as possible as we continue to move forward. Again, you're talking areas that are of concern right now: Inniswald, Westminster, Baton Rouge, Marydale, until about 3:30. So we're really kind of talking that area, obviously, right here. So I'm going to kind of, like, again, zoom in just a hair, and you'll see right around the old Jefferson area, Denham Springs, and then moving across. So really up Airline Highway and then crossing Florida Boulevard at some point. So if you live around the Broadmoor area, Marydale, again, just, again, have that safe spot, moving eventually up to areas just a little bit south of Central. And right around Millerville Road, currently seeing some pretty heavy rainfall as we speak. And if we can, maybe we can even pop up, oh wow, okay, you can see a nice little shelf cloud, huh? Mm-hmm. Yeah, let me see if I can pop up, just to give you an idea of what we're currently looking from, just even our tower cam, a nice little shelf cloud out there. And you can see that as that cell continues to walk its way up towards the northwest across our area, a little bit north of where our tower cam is, but again, because you're looking directly, yeah, you're taking, just let me get my boundaries or my bearings right now. Yeah, you're looking directly due northwest at this point. So again, you're looking at your tower cam because that's the intersection Bluebonnet and Perkins, right around the Perkins Row area. Again, kind of jumping back to those tornado warnings, and I just, again, want to reiterate that they will continue to spawn as we move forward at this point. Again, because you're going to continue to see these feeder bands continue to drive thunderstorms into the area as we move forward. So main thing is, again, we've still got one tornado in effect for about another 15 minutes here. Once again, that's also Doppler indicated. Nothing confirmed at this point. We haven't had any visible sightings from confirmed spotters. Also the one along I-49. You can see also, again, some heavy rainfall. Bunkie, we're talking just north of Opelousas in the Ville Platte area. And we're talking just around the Turkey Creek area and heading over towards Glenmora, Oakdale area. Potential for some rotating storms that could potentially produce some tornadoes out there. Again, I want to point out, again, you're not going to see most of these tornadoes just because they are currently rain wrapped. So again, that is one of the biggest concerns at this point. See, again, just kind of show you what's going on with the hurricane hunters right now. And you see they're currently en route, flying through the system at this point. And as you see there, does this say winds of 157 miles per hour?
Seems like a gust, perhaps, yeah. 10 seconds. And dropping pressure from the
pressure drop.
Update.
Yeah, now the pressure continues to drop. So what that means, probably by 4 o'clock, or maybe even sooner, if that's the case, we may have a Category 5 storm.
That's a good possibility.
That's a good possibility right now. So we'll have to get that confirmed. But you're seeing, again, okay, let's get back to the eye here, just to show you. Again, we were talking about it intensifying, and it continues in that, yeah, really opening up that eye at this point. Yeah, main thing again, yeah, potentially a Category 5 by the next update, or right on the verge of becoming a Category 5. So again, we're actually starting to see this thing get stronger and stronger, which again continues to be one of the reasons why this is quite a catastrophic, quite an alarming storm as we continue to move forward. And I want to point out again, this is going to be the strongest storm right now, the strongest storm to ever make landfall in Louisiana in recorded history. Again, I want to point out recorded history. So again, that's the late 1800s, and definitely since the satellite area, because the last one was a Category 5, but that was Camille, and that's what most people think about, but that actually wasn't a Louisiana landfall. Betsy was very strong. It was a Category 4, and prior to that, we had some earlier storms in the turn of the century that were a little bit larger, but nothing like this. Even Rita wasn't, it was actually downcycling and weakening as it made landfall. It's not building up at this point. So yeah, we could be seeing storm surge in some locations as far north of Interstate 10, which Lake Charles probably, I would estimate, maybe sits about 20, close to 15, 20 miles from the coastline. So maybe even a little bit more than that. I've never made that drive. But again, what we're talking about is, yeah, maybe 20, 30 miles from the coastline, because there's a lot of water between I-10 and a lot of lakes in between there and the Gulf Coast. And you can see, again, we got all that cloud cover. We got feeder bands starting to already kind of push their way into the capital area. So again, let's jump back. And here, I'm going to try to jump us back to the overall tornadoes and just see what we've currently got out there. Again, for overall tornadoes and kind of big picture here, let's see what we're spawning right now. Okay, zoom out. And again, you're going to continue to see these storms develop more and more tornadoes throughout the afternoon and early evening. And hopefully, once we get past this wave, we'll get a little bit of a break before another potential wave moves through the area. And you can still see some more tornadoes developing north of Lake Charles, just a little bit south of Toledo Bend. So if you've got property in Toledo Bend, again, that's a little bit south of there too.
Look at the GOES satellite of Hurricane Laura. Can we get Max 2 put up? You can see the GOES satellite.
Yeah, can you get Max 2 popped up right now?
Look at that eye. Yes.
All right, so as of 3 o'clock, and yeah, you're talking a massive eye. And even from that direction, you can see what they kind of call, see how it kind of builds back with what they call that stadium effect. And you'll probably, if you follow social media, you can usually see, even embedded inside of there. Can we get it rotating?
I took the animation out, but I can.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Main thing is, yeah, when you start looking at that, again, you're still talking, again, that's a very solid system at this point. So you call it that stadium effect, where when you look at the big picture, it kind of moves. When you look at, let's say, Tiger Stadium, you kind of see how the overall seats start to move back further and further and further. Well, that's kind of what's happening in this type of feature.
Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Having some data issues.
All right, so it's missing a few images, obviously, but you can even see those smaller little vortices kind of spin up with inside of that eye wall, inside of that eye, and right around that eye wall. Yeah, and again, winds at 140, potentially changing, and I think the key here, it's only 175 miles southeast of Port Arthur, Texas. So, and that's, again, if it heads due west, but it still looks like it's kind of trending more in a northwesterly direction. You can see the current track right now, still a category. They're keeping it as category 4. What new information is coming out right now?
The National Weather Service is going ahead and canceling the tornado warning for East Baton Rouge Parish and Livingston Parish.
All right, so here's the very latest. Again, can you pop it up to max 1 right now? Thank you, Director. And they're just about to cancel. So at 3:30, they're going to allow this tornado warning across our viewing area to expire. But the key here is stay alert. Stay aware this evening. Stay informed. Follow trusted sources, because as you see, there is a potential that we could spawn a lot more tornadoes as we move into the evening hours. And again, this is just that beginning wave. We may get a little bit of a lull, and again, don't become complacent, because there could be a little bit of a break as we move into the evening hours until maybe even midnight at this point, before we start to see more, before really conditions start to go downhill and they start to deteriorate very quickly out there. So in fact, you may even see in some cases some very strong wind gusts out there that will, again, start to bend trees a little bit as we make our way into the evening hours, even though the system still sits quite a few miles off the coastline. So again, when you look at the big picture, again, we're going to start to see more and more rain, and you see where the heart of Laura right now sits, and that's still quite a few miles south of our coastline. So again, stay weather aware. I'm going to point out that that tornado warning is going to be allowed to expire in just a few minutes, but stay alert. You're probably going to get more warnings throughout the afternoon and evening hours, and especially at night. Again, that is when you're most at risk, because you can't see anything. And again, they spawn very quickly, these isolated tornadoes, and they can be pretty frequent at times. You can see just rapid fire, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 this afternoon, just like that along one band. And that's going to be the potential situation as we head even into the early morning hours. And also, pay attention to the river levels. We're going to put a link on our website, and you can see big picture again. If you flip it back to Max 2, that I want to point out that we still remain underneath a tornado watch until 9 p.m. and potentially they could even extend that into the morning hours. So really a lot to keep an eye on. We're going to give you the very latest information at 4 o'clock when all that information gets filtered into the National Hurricane Center, see if there's any adjustments to the overall path. We're also going to be back on at 5 o'clock with our evening newscast, so tune in then, 5, 5:30, 6. And if warranted, we will be back on the air, keeping you safe throughout this entire storm. And also, in the meantime, if you can, pop it up. Make sure you download our app. That's beourproud.com for the very latest information. Not only do we have storm alerts, but we have traffic warnings, we have evacuation routes, we have sandbag locations, we have you name it, it's all on there, and we've got complete team coverage, and that's going to continue until Laura is done. Thank you.